Most people read the headlines. I read the small print. This is Footnotes, where I find the biggest stories in the smallest detail. They were friends, you see, just two boys at Bromley Technical High School with the world ahead of them and a girl between them. It was 1962. Young David was 15. He was bright, he was artistic, and he was, as 15-year-olds often are, infatuated. But his friend George felt he had a prior claim to the young lady's affections. Words were exchanged, then, in the heat of a playground afternoon, words turned into a fist. It wasn't a malicious blow, not the kind meant to break a nose or settle a blood feud, just a quick teenage jab. But George had a fingernail that caught David right across the left cornea. At first, it was just a trip to the doctor, then a hospital stay. For 4 months, David went through operations and recovery, his parents fearing he might lose the sight in that eye altogether. He didn't lose his sight, but the tiny muscles that should have allowed his iris to contract were paralyzed. From that day forward, the left pupil remained wide, fixed in a permanent state of darkness. To the casual observer, it looked as though David had one blue eye and one deep, haunting brown one. Medical science calls it anisocoria. The world of rock and roll would call it iconic. That scuffle gave David a new look that was literally out of this world. It gave him the gaze of an alien, a starman, a creature not quite bound by the symmetry of ordinary men. And the boy who threw the punch, George Underwood, he and David stayed friends for the rest of their lives. In fact, George went on to design the covers for some of David's most famous albums. Because of a playground scrap over a girl, a young man named David Jones looked into the mirror and saw someone else looking back. Someone legendary. Someone David Bowie.